Hey, what's going on, guys? Black Dissident, and I just want to talk about lighting as it pertains to just armed citizens in the United States of America, just regular ass people that want to protect themselves and their families and potentially their communities from the evil and the bad people that are out here doing crazy shit. So for that particular context or for that group of people, I think that having a quality white light on you and on your person as you everyday carry or as part of your everyday carry equipment, I think is very critical. I don't think that that's something that we can really debate. Now, whether or not you want to have something that's like a weapon mounted light on your handgun, that's totally up to you. I didn't have one for a lot of years. And in fact, this is the first time I've had a pistol mounted light, and I probably had it maybe for a year. I don't know, maybe 2 years, something like that. But so with that being the case, that's totally up to you to decide whether or not that fits for within what you're trying to do and the situations that you're going about. But I think that it's definitely important for you to have some sort of lighting in your pocket and on your person, because you can still at least use that in conjunction with the handgun, using some of the older style techniques. And then two, if you're more interested in trying to get a two-handed grip on the firearm and utilize a handheld light, there's things like this. This is the Theorem switchback. I think this is their second generation one. And it just adds a little pocket clip, and then you got this ring here. And what that affords you is the ability to do, let's see. So you can still get a modified two-handed grip on the handgun and still be able to send light downrange while maintaining at least something a whole hell of a lot closer to a two-handed grip than a lot of the other handheld lighting techniques will offer you. And these things are like $20. You can probably get them on Amazon. I've had this one for a while. It will fit on the Streamlight. This is the Polytac. I know there's a couple other Streamlights that'll fit. If you look it up on the product page, it should tell you all the lights that it'll work on. Of course, it'll work on a lot of the Surefire lights and stuff like that. But a pretty cool little thing. Not real heavy or anything like that. And I think it's worth it if that's something that you're concerned about, is trying to get a better, closer to a two-handed traditional style grip with the handheld light and the handgun. And then for everyday pocket carry, for years I carried a Streamlight ProTac 1L, which is a little bit shorter than this one. I had it for no shit, probably 10 years. And then I finally lost it. I had lost it once or misplaced it, and I found it again, like in a pair of jeans or something in the laundry room or whatever. And then I lost it the last time, and I haven't seen it since. I was hoping that it would turn up, but no luck. It never turned up. But so I went local gun shop, and they had the ProTac 1L, 1AA, and this is the dual fuel model. It's a little bit longer because it'll also accept a single AA battery or a single CR123 battery. Like 300 lumens with the CR123 battery, and the AA gives it like 150 or something. I don't know all the specs, whatever, but decent little lights, nice form factor. They got the two-way clip, so you can clip it to the brim of a hat, and then you can use it as a headlamp. Also still retains the ability to clip onto a belt or pocket or molly gear or whatever. Really like Streamlight stuff. I think their shit's good to go, especially for the price. If you don't want to spend Surefire money, but you still want something that's not going to be a piece of junk, Streamlight is generally where I will direct folks to. But anyway, so I will definitely have this in my pocket. If anything, if I feel like I might need a lot of light or a little bit more capability as far as trying to utilize the light with a handgun or something, I can throw this in my everyday carry bag or in a piece of kit, depending on what I'm doing. It's just another option that's pretty easy to toss into a bag or something if I feel like I'm gonna need it, or I can just chunk it in a pocket or whatever, depending on what the situation may be. But I do know that as a citizen, it is our duty to be able to identify things or potential threats, because a lot of time, people talk about home defense and stuff like that. And if you have kids or anybody else living in your home that you don't want anything bad to happen to, then it would be huge tragedy if you just came out, you know, in a bad situation, spooked or whatever, and went guns a-blazing and ended up hurting somebody that you love and care about. I'm sure you guys have probably heard some horror stories like that. I've heard some shitty stories like that over the years. And that's not something that you can afford to have happen. You don't want to be in that situation. So it's important. It's absolutely vital that we be able to identify things when it's dark and in low light conditions. Another thing that we have to understand too is light discipline. I know a lot of people talk about from the military doctrine and in military operations and patrolling and nighttime operations, all of that stuff. One of the major concerns in those arenas are negligent discharges with light, especially like white light or any kind of light, depending on, you know, even IR could be an issue if you're dealing with a near peer threat, somebody else who has night vision capability. But for this conversation, we'll keep it simple and just talk about visible light. So obviously that can be an issue that can get you killed, that can get you and your people in a bad spot if you're working in a team or some type of element. So I get it. That's a big deal. So we do have to touch on light discipline. You know, you see it on TV a lot of time, people just walking around in a dark structure or something trying to clear it and they got the light on constantly. That's probably not necessarily going to be a good idea for you. You need to be flashing and scanning with this light and not just walking around with it on like a damn lighthouse beacon saying, hey, I'm right here. I think most people understand that. I've seen instances where people didn't really understand that, and in classes and stuff like that, where people would shoot a course of fire in a low light class or something, and then when they lower, say, the rifle or whatever, the light's still on, and it's just lighting up the whole damn firing line for no reason. So it's important that if you're gonna carry the light in that type of environment, or really any type of environment, you have to understand light discipline. You know, so get some training or get some education on that and gain some sort of a understanding of what that looks like for you and the way that you're gonna apply your light. So that's up to you to figure all that stuff out. But it's not really like rocket science or anything. You can kind of see where the picture I'm painting with that. So I do get the concerns with light discipline, and that's definitely something that needs to be touched on. But also too, I just think we can't afford to not be able to see what the hell's going on in a dark space. So it could be very helpful. I had an incident once where there was a guy, and it was dark. It was nighttime outside of my house, and I was hanging out in the driveway, and the guy just started walking. He was walking at the edge of the road, and of course I saw him, and then he just turns and starts walking down my driveway. He looked kind of intoxicated, but you know, sometimes people act a certain way to achieve another goal. So I never approached him or anything, but I looked at him, and I had my ProTac 1L, and I shined him, and I said, hey, what are you doing? You know, really loud and kind of with some authority behind it. And he kind of looked at me, and then he just turned and walked away, like, you know, kind of groggy, acting like he was intoxicated or something. But he went on and realized that, you know, he was kind of barking up the wrong tree. So I think that also too, we have to understand that the white light can be a deterrent in some situations as well, and you can also use it in an effort to basically blind someone temporarily or momentarily. Also, if you shine it, you know, on their face, you don't have to blind them. You don't have to shine on their face, but you can get a better glimpse of what they're doing. You can see what's in their hands or whatever. So I think it's pretty important, because it'd be probably a shitty situation if you were in a situation like that and you reached for a light, or you just didn't have a light and you knew it, and then you had no idea what this guy was doing and you couldn't see his hands or anything like that. I think that would probably be pretty shitty. So what I'm saying is, like, don't put yourself in that position when, you know, a $30, $40, I don't know, this one was $50. The poly tags on Amazon are $50 or something. A $50 handheld light and some quality lithium batteries can help insulate you against those situations. That, and actually implementing it and getting a little bit of practice with it for sure. That way, and getting used to having it there as well, you know, because it's like anything else. You got to know and remember that you got the stuff and understand your equipment. So But I think it can buy you some time, and it can definitely buy you some space. And I'm all about that. So I think that's important to us as private citizens to understand those concepts and to be able to utilize them, because they could end up saving your life someday. But I won't talk no more about lights. We're going on 10 minutes. I just wanted to share that little bit of my theory and some of my thought process behind all that stuff. I appreciate you guys that are watching the content faithfully and interacting in the comment section and hitting the buttons and all that good stuff. Appreciate everybody that subscribed to the channel. And I'm going to continue to push out some content as I get chances to, and as the ideas come to me, and I come up with some stuff that I think people want to hear about and stuff that might be helpful to some folks. So I'm out of here. Appreciate you.